Oh hi. Benin, the state in the Western Africa, has an exit to Bight of Benin of the Gulf of Guinea. In the north borders on Burkina Faso and Niger, in the east on Nigeria, in the west on Togo. The capital, Porto Novo, however the government is placed in Cotonou, the largest city of the country. In the administrative relation is divided into 12 departments. For 280 years in the modern territory of the country, the state Dahomey, which since the end of the 19th century was colony of France, and in 1960 was located, at Declaration of Independence, received the name the Republic of Dahomey. Origin of a toponym Dahomey has several versions. So, 5a. Nikanov suggested that the toponym can be formed from the personal name, Dag, and a West Sudanese word with value inside, interiors, a stomach, that is, in Dag. According to other data, Dag's palace. In 1975 the country was renamed into Benin, from a people ethnonym a Ben. Self-names a Bin, it, food. To the kingdom of Edo Bini, which gave the name existing the 12th, 19th centuries in the territory of modern Nigeria. In the ancient time in the north of the country the tribe of Agum, who then were pushed aside by the tribe Baba, which came from the territory of modern Nigeria, lived. In the south of the country there lived tribes a Background and Anata. In the 15th century on the coast of Benin Portuguese appeared. In the 16th, 17th centuries forts and trading stations of the French, Dutch, English merchants and slave traders were constructed. Since the 17th century the coast of Benin and the neighboring areas were turned by Europeans into the largest region of a slave trade in Africa. From here the name of the coast, the Slave Coast. In the 17th century in the modern territory of Benin there was an early state Dahomey. His population was engaged in generally Motisni agriculture. A social order transitional from primitive communal to feudal, with elements slaveholding. In the 18th century governors of Dahomey actively were engaged in a slave trade. To annually European merchants was on sale, by some estimates, up to 20,000 slaves. It proceeded up to the middle of the 19th century when the slave trade was forbidden by the majority of the European countries. Dahomey resisted to the French colonialists with 1851, but in 1894 was finally subdued and became possession of France. In 1904 the territory of modern Benin is included in structure of the French Western Africa as colony the French Dahomey. Her borders didn't coincide with borders of the pre-colonial state Dahomey. The French colonialists began to create the industrial enterprises. Soap producing, sewing, etc. To build iron and highways. In 1946 Dahomey received the status of the overseas territory of France. At the governor the Electoral General Council began to function. In its structure there were representatives of the African bourgeoisie, officials, the intellectuals. Since 1958, the Autonomous Republic Dahomey is a part of the French community. The idea, which was considered some time about inclusion of Dahomey in structure plan then existing in 1959-1960. Federations of Mali and Senegal. It wasn't realized. Since August 1, 1960, the independent state, the Republic of Dahomey. The first president of independent Dahomey became the magician Kutuka Hubert, established actually personal dictatorship. At the end of 1963, the first military coup was committed. Under the leadership of the Colonel K. Soglo. The new constitution was adopted, the multi-party system is restored, presidential and parliamentary elections are held. SM. A PT who proclaimed a course of a socialist way, was elected the president. In 1965, the second military coup arranged with group of the highest officers. In 1968, the president it was elected E. Zinsu, the conducting westernized course. In December 1969, the third military coup. To the power were returned the magician and the PT. In October 1972, the Major Tumatio Carrick carried out the fourth coup d'état, having installed a one-party system with Marxist-Leninist ideology and having proclaimed a task of the government creation of socialism. Since November 1974, Benin began to govern the Politburo led by Carrick. Since November 30, 1975, the country was renamed into the People's Republic Benin. On January 16, 1977, there was an attack of group of mercenaries under the leadership of Bob Dinar for the purpose of commission of the state love spell, ended unsuccessfully. In 1983, all population of the country aged from 15 up to 40 years was enlisted in the organization of revolutionary youth. Average life expectancy in the country then made 43 years. Since 1989, Carrick renounced the Marxist principles. From the official name of the country I removed the word national. In 1991, free elections took place. After dismantling of a one-party system since March 1990, the Republic of Benin. The last population census in Benin is conducted on May 11, 2013. According to a census, the population of the country in 2013 was 9,983,884 persons. Annual increase in population -2.9%. Fertility -5.4 births only woman. Average life expectancy -59 years. Contamination, a virus of an immunodeficiency. HIV -1.2%. Assessment for 2007. Ethnic structure. More than 60 people, are most numerous East to which nationalities a background. App 65%. Dagami, Barba, Asamba, Yoruba, Abusa and others treat. Languages. French. Official. A background and Yoruba. Generally in the south of the country. Various languages of tribes in the north of the country. Religions. Christians of 42.8%, Muslims of 24.4%, Voodoos of 17.3%, other 15.5%. On a census of 2002. Most of Christians, Catholics, other Christian denominations are Baptists, Methodologists, the Assemblies of God and Adventists. The literacy of the population is more senior than 15 years -34. 7%, 48% of men and 23% of women. On a census of 2002. Geographically, the country is divided into 5 natural areas. Coastal area, a plateau zone. Plateau de Berstera. The Sublime Plateau with the woody savanna in the north, hilly area in the northwest. Atacora. And fertile Niger Plains in the northeast. The total area of the country is 114.763 thousand square km. Climate in the north of the country subequatorial, 2 seasons, dry from December to May and rainy from June to November. In the southern part climate equatorial, with 2 rainy seasons and 2 dry seasons. River network dense. The main rivers, Tuvema and Mono, both are navigable. Vegetation, generally Viscotravni savanna with acacias, palm trees of thoughts, trees to the carriage. On the coast tropical evergreen forests and also landings of an olive palm tree and a teak. The fauna is quite rich. In the savanna there are a lot of antelopes and large predators, lions, panthers, cheetahs, elephants and buffalo as meat. In 1999, administrative division of the country was changed. In each of 6 provinces existing earlier. Atacora, Atlantic, Tuborg, Vema, the storage, Mono. The new administrative unit was allocated. Thus, now the country is divided into 12 departments which in turn include 77 communes. Benin is the presidential republic with a multi-party system. The president of Benin at the same time is the head of state and the head of the government. Executive power is carried out by the government. The legislature belongs both to the government and parliament. Judicial authority is independent. The existing constitution of Benin is adopted in 1990. According to Economist Intelligence Unit, the country in 2018 was classified under the Index of Democracy as the hybrid mode. Subequatorial in a northern part of the country, equatorial in the southern part, with 2 rainy seasons. From March to July and since the end of September prior to the beginning of November. During this period 800–1300 mm of rainfall and very high humidity of air drop out. Average monthly air temperatures fluctuate from +24 C to +27 C. In the north of the country 2 seasons, dry. From December to April–May. And rainy are accurately expressed. From June to November. Average temperature of January of +25 C, July of +32 C, rainfall is less than in the south -750, 12–15, droughts are frequent. The best time for visit of the country, from December to March, that is connected not only with optimum climatic conditions at this time, but also with the numerous festivals held to this period. Benin, the underdeveloped agrarian state. The economy is based on natural agriculture. Corn, tapioca, yam. And on cultivation of a cotton. Cotton is one of the main commodity cultures. In 2014, production of cotton reached 600,000 standard 480-pound bales. 217.72 k. The 17th place in the world. The second most important commodity culture, nuts of cashew. For 2015/2016, the volume of a harvest was estimated at 125,000 tons. In the country there are oil and gas fields, but they aren't operated. Other known natural resources: iron ore, gold, phosphorites, marble and the wood. Development is insignificant. Prospecting works of the international gold mining companies in Benin revealed 39 major gold deposits, many of which managed to be found in by means of the satellite. The volume of gold mining is about 500k a year. The electric power is generally imported from Ghana. Export goods: 1. $11 billion in 2016. Gold, cotton, cashew nuts, fruit, palm oil, timber, oil products. Re-export. The main buyers. In 2016, the EU, 27%. India, 17%. Lebanon, 6.6%. Mali, 6.6%. China, 5.3%. Import, $1.8 billion in 2016. Food, mainly rice and meat products. Industrial goods, fuel and so forth. The main suppliers. In 2016, China, 27%. Thailand, 11%. India, 10%. France, 5.3%. The authorities of Benin plan to attract foreign investments, first of all for development of travel business. The Cotonou airport provides air traffic with the cities of Africa and several points out of her. In Benin there are railroads, but their network isn't connected to the railroads of neighboring countries yet, though there are projects and plans of the connection on the basis of a track 1000 wide. The majority of roads with a soil covering, however, are 10 highways. Within the 1980th years, less than 30% of the population had access to medical care. The death rate of children under 5 years in Benin was one of the highest in the world. Level of infantile mortality was 203 deaths on 1,000 newborns. Only 1 of 3 mothers had access to children's medical care. The initiative of Bamako of reform of healthcare allowed to change significantly a situation. The strategy of an integrated approach to reform of all fields of healthcare allowed to improve indicators of medical care and also its efficiency and cost. Beninese literature had deep oral traditions long before French became the dominating language. In 1929, Félix Couture wrote the first Beninese novel, Slavery. The state broadcasting company ORT, Office de Radiodiffusion et Télévision du Benin, Management of Broadcasting and Television of Benin, is created on October 20, 1972. The Benin's first La Chaîne national radio station enters into ORT. Was started by Sorafam on March 7, 1953 as Radio Dahomey, was started on April 1, 1983 network of regional radio stations Radio Paracao. On December 31, 1978 the Benin's first ORT television national TV channel was started. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.